Hey guys, NW Order for Life here to review Parasyte The Maxim episode 9. And this is a pretty filled episode. Lots of stuff happening in here, so I'm going to try to tackle it as quick as I can. And what happens is the girl from last episode that was spying on the new transfer student, Parasyte, or whatever, or rather she was drawing about him, whatever. She's featured more prominently in this episode. She has a big purpose. Her name is Yuko, and she's got a crush on this parasite's body or whatever. And she, well, before I get to her, um, Kana is being chased by this parasite, or followed by him, because he's kind of curious at how in the last episode she was able to sense him coming when, he has nothing to do with Shinichi, and she said that she thought it was going to be Shinichi. He doesn't look like her, or him, or, have any things in common that would confuse him with Shinichi, so he was really curious how she could tell that it was going to be someone like Shinichi, when, or how she could think it would be Shinichi when it was him that she jumped on, and whatever, thought it was Shinichi. But yeah, so he's following her, or he's walking. He grabs her and wants to walk with her, or whatever. And Shinichi interferes, and Shinichi basically tells him not to touch her again, and he'll kill him or something to that effect. And the other guy from the gang, or whatever, that was with Kana, he gets a bunch of his friends, and well, actually before that, he confronts the parasite dude. They walk to a men's bathroom, and he gets the shit beat out of him instantly. And the parasite warns him if he ever does it again, that he will finish him, or erase him, or something towards that effect. And the girl Yuko is watching the parasite come out of the bathroom, with his normal human face, or whatever. And she's still kind of blushing, still kind of curious or whatever. And she goes home, and she sees her brother sleeping on the couch or whatever. Oh, before I get to that, I gotta get into her brother. So so we see the father of Shinichi, and he's being interviewed by like these men, which we can tell they're like police. One of them is a sketch artist, and from what I just said, it's Yuko's brother. But he's sketching what the parasites look like, and they're talking about, they tell the father that they don't know how many there are. They estimate like a couple thousand of them on the planet, and that they're spread out, and they know they can change shapes, and that they eat humans, and they can't go public with any of it. And then Shinichi walks home, and he kind of just like, they kind of get shushed by the men to leave the room once they verify that he's a normal civilian or whatever. And, part of Shinichi's dad's family. And Shinichi's dad, after they leave, he comes clean with Shinichi and tells Shinichi everything, and he just kind of nods and goes along with everything his dad says, pretending to be surprised, or, not really saying anything, but like, not letting on the fact that he already knew. And after that, and the father basically says, the mom is dead. And like Shinichi isn't, shocked or nothing like that, but he's got to pretend that he's like speechless or something towards that effect. And now the guy who's what's her name again? Kana's friend, gang kid, whatever. He gets a bunch of his friends from school and tries to corner the parasite kid and try to beat him up. Shinichi or Migi senses that something bad's going to happen, like he's going to beat them up or something really bad, and so Shinichi goes after him. He leaps a huge like wall to get to them, and the parasite guy is completely shocked that he could do that. And Migi is also sleeping, so I don't know I think he was sleeping, because I think his signal was weak in this episode at that point. or something. But either way, he's shocked at what Shinichi did, but doesn't say nothing. He just says that he's unfairly being picked on by all these people, and he was just going to take care of them. And Shinichi's like, "Get out, I'll take care of them." So he says, "Okay, fine, you take care of them, I'll leave." And they all get mad at Shinichi or whatever, and Shinichi looks right at their leader, who was a guy in the back, and like there was no attention on him, but he knew that guy was the leader. And the leader tries to punch him in the face, and Shinichi catches the punch like nothing, and looks into his eyes and gives a very menacing glare, and this guy knows just to back off and to get out of there because they can't beat him. And Shinichi pretty much saves their lives by doing that, and he tells them, don't ever pick a fight with that kid again, if you know it's good for you. So, and that was good. And he's having his issues with Murano, again from last episode with the whole dog thing, and she and him are just not connecting, and they're having these moments where he's trying to be normal like he used to be, but every time she kind of opens up to him, he kind of like flips out or something happens, and it's kind of upsetting to as a viewer to just like, oh, I want her to understand, I want her to get it, that what's happening to him isn't his fault, and I wish he could be truthful with it about what's going on to her, so that was pretty cool. And then the other thing in the episode is that Yuko, the girl whose brother is the sketch artist for those policemen that was Shinichi's dad, he has a sketch on the table. She grabs it, she looks at it, he tells her about it, and about the monsters. Doesn't know if they're aliens, doesn't know if they're chimeras, whatever he said, and he basically says, don't worry, you'll never see one. And for some reason, she's very suspicious about the transfer student parasite kid, and she keeps keeping tabs on him, and she sees him go and stand still at a place and stare at things. Then she sees a tennis ball or a baseball or something hit him in the head from far away, and it like creates a hole in his head, and then he just covers it up and it's gone, and she sees that. And then she also sees him walking to a place on the street or whatever, changing his clothes, and then he changes his face. Like, so I guess I don't know how he didn't see her. He looks like to see if anyone's around. He misses the fact that she's watching him, and changes his face into a completely different person. So she gets this really, really stupid idea to confront him about it, and she does. And she says, are you really one of those monsters? She confronts him in class or something. Are you really one of those monsters, that are killing people? I want you to stop it, or whatever that she was saying to him. She's like, I noticed you, and I always thought you were really cool, but if you're doing these things, you got to stop, and you got to tell me these things. And I don't know what she was thinking, but this crazy girl ends up, getting in the crosshairs of this parasite, and he wants her dead. And as he's getting ready to kill her by splitting his head into all these tentacles with the sights or whatever, that's when Miki notices his killing intent, and Shinichi stands up in class and says, like, you idiot, or something towards that effect. And Shinichi is going to go running after her to save her, I assume. But yeah, so overall, quickly, good episode with the battling. Not really battling. There's no battling, but good episode with the intense action, the fist fighting, and the drama between Murano and Shinichi, and if they're ever gonna figure out what's going on. Oh, there was Ryoko and this other parasite guy. Looks like he was in a business suit or something. They were talking, and so there was like, oh, what's the future of our race? She wants to know, and she's like a really deep thinker. And he's like, don't even worry about any of that stuff. She's like, why do we exist? Why do we live? To eat humans or whatever. That guy's like, we live to clean the earth of the humans. Like, the earth has evolved, and we're the way to clean it or something. Like, he's like all carefree, and she's like, oh, what's the meaning of life? Why am I nurturing this? You say this is toxin, then why am I nurturing a toxin inside my stomach and things like that? So it's kind of crazy, the subjects that Ryuko brings up, how she really thinks about her existence, and how she feels about humans and their future, and it's really interesting. And vice versa, how the other parasites like think differently. So as you can see, she's special. She has a special thing about her. And yeah, so what else? Always good to see Kana again. I like Kana's character. The psychic girl is trying to get with Shinichi, but at the same time, she doesn't really know what's going on. She's in danger. It's just good. I don't know. It was a really good episode. That's really all I can say about it. I'm kind of tired, so yeah, that's probably the reason. But overall, great episode. 8 out of 10. I highly recommend watching this show and the episode. And that's it. I'm starting to ramble on, and I'm not making any sense, so I'm sorry. If any comments about this, my rambling, or anything in the episode you want to discuss, talk about it in the comments below. Please give me a like if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel for more videos in the future on Parasyte The Maxim. So thanks, guys, and have a nice night.